die Bobbe hat angebacken mehr, die Bobbe hat angebacken für uns eine Welt mit Kicherlach, mit, mitgegeben in Wegereien, a Sachflächer Saft und eingemachten. So the grandma baked for us a world of cookies, a lot of cookies, and she gave it for us to take with us on the road. Also, a lot of bottles with juice and other baking goods.
Eingemachts is jelly.
Jelly?
Jelly
Jam?
was jam.
No, I think
Preserves.
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 Jelly,
Okay.
jam, or preserves.
Okay, thank you. Auf dem Weg habe ich sich gerissen zu sitzen neben Balegole. Bin herabgekrochen von der Beut beim bergigen Weg, gepfeift zu die Pferd. On the way, I made an effort to sit near the carriage owner. I came down from I came off the carriage through the
When it got hilly.
the what?
When it got hilly.
Oh, okay, thank you. Bog, yeah. When it got hilly, and I was whistling to the horses. Die Mama hat mich gemustert für mein Aufführung. My mommy was scolding me for my misbehavior. Was passt nicht für ein Bilgoraya Rebbe's Enkel, which is not suitable for the grandchild of the Rav of Bilgorai. Wenn wir seien durchgefahren durch der Stadt Janev, hat die Mama mir angewiesen auf eine Turme.
Hello, Moto.
Oh. Okay. Hat die Mama mir angewiesen auf eine Turme mit der verkratete Fensterlach und mir gesagt, als ich will nicht werden kein Leid. Und oben im Kopf Pferd und Balegoles will ich noch einmal sitzen im Kriminal. Wo sitzt der Bilgoraier Kolboinik Itchele Schmul Fanjes, was hat sich euch gehabert mit Pferd und Pferdgenovin. So, when we passed by the town of Yanev, my mother showed me a prison with barred windows, and she told me that if I'm not becoming a mensch, a person, and if I only have in my head horses and owners of horse carriages, I too will one day sit in jail where there's now sitting the known guy, Ichele Shmuel Fanis, who was like a Kolboinik, that means he doing everything. That he too was associating with horses and with horse thieves. Von dem Moment an, jedes Mal, was ich aufgetan etwas an nicht jüdische Sach, pflegt die Mama mich rufen, Itchele Shmuel Fanjes. Since then, each time when I didn't do a Jewish thing, maybe I didn't behave. My mother was calling me by the name of that guy that's in jail, Ichele Shmuel Fanjes. Derweil seien wir gefahren durch die Städtlach, Dörfer und Wälder von Lubliner Gubernie. Wo Sieden pflegen sie rufen dem Melech Evions Gitter. Meanwhile,
Barbara Goldstein.
sorry. So, meanwhile, we were traveling through towns, villages, and forests of the district or region of Lublin that Jews were calling it the Melech Evion's Gitter. Gitter, I don't know what it is.
Possessions. It comes from
Okay.
gut.
Thank you, but Evians is poor.
Yeah.
The poor man's possessions. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. Wir seien vorbeigefahren alt-jüdische Städte, was man gefindt, sehr nehmen in jüdisches Forum von die Zeiten von Gräser Dach.
Gezeres.
Seres, ja. Okay. Wir sind, we passed old Jewish towns, the names of which you can find in Jewish books from the times of the Xeres is decrease of that is the
This is 1648, the Khmelnytsky.
Khmelnytsky, yeah, I know. Yeah.
How did you get that from Gaziras? That's the date, the test.
Yeah, a tough ches is the ches is 8. Tough is 1600.
That's right. And it's a known date in Jewish history.
Oh, the decree, Gaziras.
It was called Gezeres Tach V'Tat, 1648,
yeah.
1649.
Yeah.
It's referring to Khmelnytsky.
Oh, yeah. Problem is that in Hebrew we say Gzerot Tach V'Tat. Was soll ich gelernt? Gzerot, yeah. Okay.
In Yiddish, for some reason, it's singular, Gezeres.
I don't know. Yeah, okay. Steht mit solchen Namen wie Samos und Chebreshin und Gorai und Josefo und allerlei andere. Names like this, the towns we passed by, old towns with names like this.
I think Shamoch is where Peretz was born, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Zamoch. Zamoch is mentioned in songs too. See, there's a song. Somebody's like she's dreaming of a chassan, so she's asking the tree whether the chassan that is going to come to her is von Lite or von Zamoch. I'll sing it for you.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a beautiful song. Anyway, solche nehmen wie Samuel okay. Steht mit alte jüdische Schulen und Beisolems. Towns with Jewish synagogues and graveyards, cemeteries. Steht mit fahrzeitige Cloisters und Turms und breite runde Merk. Towns with ancient cloisters of English.
Well, churches.
Churches, okay. And jails and breite runde Merk. Merk is signs.
No,
Market.
marketplaces.
Okay. It did yeah, I know about marketplaces, but it did not. Welche seine okay, I see it. Okay.
It's a plural.
Yeah,
Mark,
yeah,
Mark
yeah,
is singular
I see.
and Merk is plural.
Right, yeah, I see. Yeah, okay. Welche seinen herumgeringelt mit Hilzerne, Wend und Dächlach. Okay, so those markets are surrounded with wooden walls and roofs. Was men ruft sie Pachenes. Pachenes. Unter welcher es sitzen Krämer und Sedeches. Under which they are sitting store owners, salespeople, sedeches, I don't know what it is.
Fruit
Market
sellers.
women.
It could
What?
be- yeah, vulgar women are fruit sellers, women who are selling fruit.
Oh,
And
okay.
And I think it comes from the word sod, meaning orchard.
Oh, okay. Just 1 second. I have to. Okay, I have to charge. Okay. Sorry. Unter welcher sitzen, ja, okay. Steht mit alte jüdische Minogim, mit Shamasim, was rufen jeden Fartog in Schule ein. Towns with old Jewish customs, with the helpers of the synagogue that are calling Jews early in the morning, calling them to come into the synagogue. Mit Behelfers, Hosphären Dardake Kinder in die Chadorem rein mit Gesang. Also with the helpers that are leading little children into the cheder with singing. Und mit Poikers, was Poiken in Mark bei jedem neuen Gesetz und Nachricht. Okay, with drums that are drumming in the market. With the issuance with any new law, Nachricht wasn't in the.
It's a German
Dictionary.
word. It means news or
Okay,
information.
thank you. Okay. Mit Chederinglach, was zieren aus Fenster von jüdischen Stuben mit allerlei geschnitzte Herrschelach und Leben und Fegelach lekoved Yom Tovim. And with children that go to Cheder, that are decorating windows of Jewish homes were all kinds of deers and lions and birds for the holidays. Steht, in welche die Jiden seinen jüdischer wie in iberiken Polen und die Goyim seinen goyischer wie in die iberiken Polen. Yeah, he says this is some writing, huh? Towns where the Jews are more Jewish than in the rest of Poland, and where the Goyim are more Goyish than in all of Poland. Worin in kein ander Gegend in Polen pflegen die polnische Poirem nicht tragen a solche lange Haar. Oft bis die Achseln a solche farbige Hitterlach mit Trollen auf jeden Winkel. A solche lange, ausgehaftene Sugmanes.
Warum in keine andere Gegend in Polen pflegen die polnische Poirem nicht tragen a solche lange Haar, because in no other place, region of Poland, would the Polish peasants be wearing such long hair, oft bis die Achseln, often down to their shoulders. A solche farbige Hitlerach mit Trolden, such colorful little hats with fringes auf jeden Winkel at every corner. A solche lange ausgehoftene Sukmanes, such long sewn, heften is sewn or knitted, sukmanes, and that's a kind of it's apparently kapotes is how he translates that, jackets. A solche farbige Gartlen auf die Lenden, such colorful belts on their hips, und ausgenähte Chadakes, sandalen auf die Fies, and such sewn sandals on their feet. In keiner anderen Gegend haben die Poirates nicht getragen solche ungeheuer heuche Steife Turbanen auf die Cap. In no other region would the peasant women carry or wear such amazingly high, stiff turbans on their heads. Heuche, zerneif gedrehte, farbige Schalen. Tall, twisted together, colorful shawls. Was man hat sie gerufen, chamelkes, which were called chamelkes. And I don't have that word in my dictionary. In keine andere Gegend in Kroinpolen ist euch die polnische Bevölkerung nicht gewesen ausgemischt, also gedicht, mit ruthenische Poirem. Was haben getragen die Hemder über die Häuser, gegangen in Laptjes oder Borves und gerät Chochlatske Loschen. Was jeden haben es gerufen, Jewonisch. In no other region of Congress Poland, I think that would be Kroin Poland, was the Polish, were the Polish inhabitants so mixed thickly with the Ruthenian, that's White Russian peasants, Belarusian. And the Lublin district actually is kind of to the middle east of Poland. These peasants who would wear their shirts over their pants, they went in lapchis. Lapchis would be some kind of I'm just seeing if I've got that in my dictionary here. I don't. Some sort of a shoe cover. Yeah.
It's a sandal
Yeah.
made of hem. I'm listening to you.
Okay, good. So what are lapchis made out
I
of?
need to learn from you, huh?
What are
It's like a simple sandal made of sewn with hem.
Hemp?
hemp?
Not
Pork?
Oh, yeah, chazer, yeah.
Okay, so the
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Hemp, H-E-M-P.
okay, hemp, fine.
Yeah,
Well, you can make all sorts of things from a sow's tail. Anyway,
that's true.
they went in hemp sewn moccasins. How's that? Or barefoot. And they spoke a chochlatske. Chochlatske would be kind of a gurgling, I think, speech, which the Jews would call Yevonish, which would be kind of like a Greek. It was all Greek to them. Altmodisch und farbig und fromm seine gewende Jiden, wie die Goyim in Ot die Gitter von Melech Evien. Old-fashioned and colorful and pious were the Jews, just as the non-Jews, in these possessions of the king of the poor in Lubliner Gegend, in the Lublin district. Abgeruckt von der Bahn, seien die städtlich gewesen versteckt in sehr Verzeitigkeit, set far away from a train. These little towns were caught up in their ancientness, in their old-fashionedness, nicht angerührt von der Zeit, untouched by modern times. Die tiefe Wälder haben abgeteilt die Gegend von der übrigen Welt. The deep woods separated the region from the surrounding world. Nach zwei Tagen schleppen sich mit Beuten und Bahnen und Wagens sind wir angekommen zurück heim in Lynching. After 2 days of dragging ourselves around with carriages and trains and wagons, we arrived back home in Lynching. Das erste hat uns begegnet der Call von der Schäufer von Beis Medrash heraus, wo die Bachrim haben geblasen, auf was die Welt steht, in die furchtige Tag von Chodesh Elul. The first thing that greeted us was the sound of a shofar from the coming out of the Beis Medrash, where the lads, the yeshiva lads, were blowing the shofar as hard as they could, auf was die Welt steht, in the solemn days of the month of Elul. That's the month that precedes Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah. Good, that's the end of the chapter. It's someone else's turn.
Okay, Susan.
Okay. Zu lieb Kibbud Av brecht a Yid Scheiben bei uns und bet noch Mechila in die Sachen. Because of giving respect to his father, a Jew shatters the panes, the window panes, our window panes, and later asks for forgiveness when he comes in his socks like mourning to ask for forgiveness. Mehr wie gewöhnlich pflegt drücken auf uns die Unmütigkeit und Ormkeit von dem Heckländchen, nachdem wie wir pflegen zurückkommen von unseren Besuchen in Bilgerei. More than usual, it got to us the poverty, the sadness and poverty of that. Heck, how would you say that?
It's a distant place or a hick town.
Oh, okay. Of the place, Lenshin, after we had come back from our visit to Bilgerei. Dus verworfene Städtler, this faraway Städtel, hat ausgesehen noch kleiner, wie es ist gewesen. It looked, this poor Städtel looked even smaller than what it was. Die Mama was hot in ihr Vaters Haus aufgelebt. Our mother, who became lively when she visited her father's house, is wieder rein in ihr ewiger Schweigenisch und Umid. She is back into her usual silence and sadness. Sie hat noch als gehofft, Gläubiger zu sein, dem Tatens Actiones. She really hoped that she could overrule our father's stubbornness und peulen bei ihm and work something out with him. Soll belegen an Examen und kennen, gefinnen, a Rabbonus in a größere Städtel, that he would will be able to find a rabbinical position in a larger Städtel. Zu lieb dem hat sie, because of that, she then durchfuhrendig Warsche eingehandelt für 2 Rubel a russisch-jüdische Methode. Because of this, when we passed by Warsaw, she bought for 2 rubles a Russian Yiddish method book.
A methode.
Would be a method book, I guess.
Yeah, but it would be read methode. You said method. I think methode. I think that's
What we think? What?
Accent
think-
on the second syllable.
Oh, methode.
methode. Yeah, methode.
Von welchem man kann allein sich auslernen die russische Sprache, from which you'll be able to learn the Russian language und die Grammatik and the grammar. Das ist gewesen a Sammlung von etliche sämtliche Heften. It was put together from about 10 different notebooks mit farbige Scherblattelach with colorful covers. Auf welche es ist gewesen upgedruckt der Portrait von Machaber, on which was printed the portrait of the author, a Yid mit a schöne gescheuerte Bord, a Jew with a nice trim beard, und mit a Deutschmarische Yarmulke, and with a German-style yarmulke auf dem Kopf, on his head. Wie es trugen a selige batchonim, like the wedding jesters wear. Unter dem Portrait is gewesen upgedruckt der Nomen. Under the picture, the portrait, was written the name Naftali Herz Naimanovitz. Natalie Herz Naimanovitz, and this is Hey Nun Tzadik.
Abbreviation of his name.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. How would you say it?
Hanatz.
Oh, okay. Sei der Portrait.
It could be Hans too, right? Hans?
Oh, okay.
Could be with Naftali Hertz. Most likely not Hans. That usually would be spelled fully phonetically.
How about hands?
Could be.
Well, if it had some, they'd be talking about me, of course.
Sei der Porträt von dem Mechaber, sei sein Numen, haben bei mir stark ausgenommen. The portrait of the author and also his name really got to me. Und ich hab gleich genommen lernen sich die russische Wörter, and I immediately began to learn the Russian words, welche seinen gewesen Wort in Wort übergesetzt in Yiddish, that were translated into Yiddish word by word. Die meiselig meestens met een moeserhaskell thereto, and the little stories with a moral attached to them, or haben stark neuse geen geween in meine Augen. I liked them very much. I found them very charming. Und noch mehr in die Augen von mein Schwester, and even more so in my sister's eyes. Aber sie haben gar nicht neuse geen geween beim Taten, but my father did not like them at all. Auf der Zeit hat die Mama mit ihrer logischen Red und Überzeugung, over the time, my mother, with her logical talking and persuasion, gepolt beim Taten. She got a result by the father. Zal hotch een show in talk of weglegen this forum, that he at least 1 hour of a day put away his holy books und rein gucken in their methode and look in this, I would say, textbook kind of thing. Gedei ihm zu machen leichter, to make it easier for him, pflegt die Mama allein früher durchgehen die Lektie. So mother, to make it easy for him, she would go over the lesson und noch sie übergehen mit den Taten, and then go over it with a father. Ich gedenk noch besitzt, wie der Tate pflegt sich Materin. I remember to this day how the father, he would get very tired beim Äußerung gesellige, fantastische Werte, when he had to sound out those fantastic words, such as the, and these Russian words, so I have to read them.
No.
Podyash, Helnaya, Skazyamya, Gloggle, and other ones. In Giechen is im mies geworden der Essig, but very soon he got tired of the whole matter. Hat bei kein Häufen nicht gewollt lernen, von außen wenig. He didn't by any means want to learn by heart a Russisch Lieder, a Russian song, mit der selige Grammar, be with such rhyming words as Kut Machnati and Kozyal Barati, whatever that means. Siz umzist, ich will schon mit dem Gubernator nicht reden. Makes no sense. It's for nothing. I'm not going to speak to the governor. Hat der Tate gesucht. That's what the father said. Und genommen sich zu seine Sporum. And he went back into his holy books. Was hat sehr Bregen beschrieben mit Chidushim, which he wrote in the margins, new interpretations. Was that how you would call the Chidushim?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Von oben bis herab, from bottom up of the page, mit kleine, getockte, halbrunde, schurlich, with small, rounded lines. He wrote them out in small rounded lines. What would be getockte?
Yeah, getokte often refers to handwriting, and it means it's a nice handwriting in general. Getokte, actually, getokken is to it's a kind of woodworking, to turn in woodworking, but let's see, getokt, shapely.
Yeah, well formed.
Okay. Somebody else want to read out?
Okay. Die Mama ist durchgegangen die Methode in einer kurzen Zeit. So mother worked her way through this study book in a very short time. Wenn sie wollt gedacht halten dem Examen und annehmen a Rabbonis, wollt sie es gemacht 1 und 2. If she was the one who needed to sit for the examination and to accept a rabbinic post, she would have done it very quickly. Aber sie ist bloß gewinn Aidene und ihre Kenntnissen seien nicht gewinn kein Meile nor Achisoren für ihr. But she was merely a woman, and her knowledge was not a virtue for her, but rather a disadvantage. Zusammen mit der Mammen haben wir, die Schwester und ich, gesüberet und in die Heften und geknackt Russisch, auf was die Welt steht. So the two of us, my sister and I, we it's as though cramming for an examination. They studied it very closely. These Heften exercises, and we cottoned on to Russian very quickly. Wie so mehr haben die russische Wörter herausgerät, is another Maisa. The way that we pronounce these Russian words, that's another matter altogether. Aber wir haben gekannt alle meisterlich und kluge Sprüchen von Eisenweinig. But we knew all the stories and the clever sayings off by heart. Lernen, hat die Mama mir untergegeben, Cheshik. Study. My mother encouraged me. Es wird dir sein leichter zu belegen Examen auf Rov. It will be easier for you to sit for the examination to become a rabbi, a state rabbi. Wenn du wirst älter werden, when you're older. Bei der Mammen ist gewinn klar wie der Tag, als ich will sein Rov. As far as my mother was concerned, it was as clear as daylight that I would become a rabbi. Aber sie hat gewollt, als ich soll sein a Rov, was wird nicht haben, was wird nicht mehr haben, zu reden mit dem Gubernator. But she hoped that I would become a rabbi who would not be afraid to speak to the governor. Meine Schwester hat gefragt der Mammen, was sie wird sein, als sie wird größer werden. My sister asked our mother what she would be when she grew up. Was kann ein Mädel sein? Hat die Mama geantwortet. What can a girl do? Our mother answered. Die Schwester an Eifersüchtige von Kindweis an hat nicht gekannt Meuchel sein das, was ihre weiberische Fähigkeiten werden gar nicht geschätzt. My sister, who was envious or jealous from childhood, she couldn't bear the fact that her feminine skills were not appreciated at all. Das ist gewesen ein Qual von ständiger Reißenisch zwischen ihr und mir. This was a source of constant argument between her and me. Der Tate ist gewesen verkocht in seine Chidushim, was hat geschrieben ganze Tag. My father was very much involved with his Chidushim
Interpretations. Like,
interpretations, which he wrote for days on end. Jedes Mal, was hat machadisch gewesen etwas in der Torah, each time when he had a new interpretation of something in the Torah, oder in der Gemara, hat gescheint von Glück. So that every time he had a new interpretation of the Gemara or in the Torah, he beamed with happiness. Seine Backen haben geflammt, seine blaue Augen haben geleuchtet. His cheeks were as if flaming, and his blue eyes were very bright. Nicht haben dich verwimmen zu erzählen seine Chidushim, pflegt sie erzählen für der Mammen. Der Tate, der ewiger Enthusiasm,
enthusiast.
Der ewige Enthusiast und Sucher von Warmkeit und Anerkennung ist geblieben abhängig wie ein Kind von der Mamas Teine. So not having anyone to tell about these new interpretations, he would tell them to our mother. Our father, the constantly enthusiastic, always was looking for was always looking for warmth and recognition, and he remained dependent like a child on our mother's support, perhaps.
Well, no, abhängig here is discouraged, and so mother's complaints.
Deficient, yes. Okay, so on her complaints, right. Wosche mit die Chidushim rechenst du zu speisen a Weib und Kinder? With these interpretations, do you think that you can feed a wife and children? Hat sie gefragt, she asked. Die Mama is, Agav, gewinn demolt in die hechere Chadoshim und gegreit sich zu bringen ein nahe Beschäftignis auf der Welt. At that time, by the way, our mother was in the latter months of pregnancy and was getting ready to bring a new
living being. Huh? Living being.
living being into the world. Gor und Gichen haben Weiber genommen und füllen die Stub, reden, säuden sich und mich schicken von Stub, weil ein Engel darf nicht hören, was die Weiber reden zwischen sich. So quite quickly, the women began to come into the house in numbers.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they would come into the house, they would speak and secretly among themselves, and they would send me out of the house because a little boy should not hear what the women are talking among themselves. In einem Afrimorgen hat die Mama genommen krächzen. Early one morning, the mother began to groan. Die städtische Weiber haben gleich verhangen mit alleilich der Mamas Bett, und man hat mich geschickt laufen bringen die Hebam Goya mit Nomen Pakatsova. So the town village women immediately hung up a sheet around the mother's bed, and they sent me to run to bring the midwife, a non-Jewish woman with the name of Pakatsova. Lauf schnell und bring sie gleich zu führen. Run quickly and bring her back. Hat die Treiterliche mir angesagt. I couldn't find this word Treiterliche.
This is the wife of the guy who's managing the Bet Merchatz.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
bathhouse woman. Yeah. Okay.
She goes by the profession of her husband.
Of her husband, right. So she that's what she said to me. Okay.
Okay. Sie hat mir nicht gedacht ansagen, weil das Laufen ist bei mir gewesen eine natürliche Sache Inglerweis. She didn't have to tell me that, because running was for me a natural thing when I was a boy. Ich bin damit gelaufen. I've always run. Das Mal bin ich gelaufen wie a Ruach. This time I was running like wind. Die Heibas ist nicht gewesen in der Heim, nur auf die Felder, wo sie hat ausgekrochen die letzte Kartoffel, der Winter kommt on. So the midwife wasn't at home, but she was in the fields where she was picking up the last potatoes before winter comes. Die kurze, grobe Goye hat weggelegt dem Grobeisen, herumgebunden das Vater, und also wie sie ist gegangen und gestanden mit ausgeschmierten Händen von Erd und Borwes, hat es sich schon gewöhnt kaltlach, ist sie erweckt zu der Mammen intern Leilach. Okay. This short, heavy, non-Jewish woman put down her the tool she was working with on the
It's a hoe.
okay. She
He tied up her apron.
she tied up her apron and the way like the way she was, she went and stood with actually with dirty hands from the air and barefoot, even though it was already cold. And this is how she went to my mother behind the sheet.
The expression "Azoi wie sie ist gegangen und gestanden,"
Also wie ist gegangen,
just as she was at the moment.
sie ist gegangen, also wie sie ist gegangen
Gegangen und gestanden. That all goes together.
gestanden.
Just as she was, with her smeary hands smeared of dirt and barefoot, she went too.
I understand. But in English you say like come as you are, but not
Exactly.
as you are and
Exactly.
you walk. It's only in Yiddish.
It's a Yiddish expression.
Yeah, right.
Wie sie geht und steht.
That's new. Thank you. Susan wants to say something.
I want to say this before, that the sister that he's referring to was Esther Singer Kreitman, who later they married her off and sent her out of Poland because she was difficult to handle because she was very educated, and she moved to England and she actually wrote a book.
Yeah.
Singer Kreitman.
Okay, yeah, okay. Noch etliche Show ist geboren a Mädele. Mit a Reut Keppel, gerotten in der Mammen, was is euch gewinn a Reut Horike. So after a few hours, a little girl was born with a red head, she looked very much like my mother, resembling my mother, who also had red hair. Die Chassidim in Beis Midrash haben geschmeichelt mit Choizek Shabbos beim Lehnen, wenn mein Vater hat einen Namen gegeben dem Kind Sore. So the Hasidim in the synagogue or the study house, they were smiling with laughter on Shabbos when they were reading, maybe reading the Torah. When my father named the little child Sarah.
Right, that would be happening. He would get an aliyah, and as part of the aliyah, he would give the name to the child.
Yeah. Das Bringen a Tochter auf der Welt ist bei Hasidim verrechnet gewesen a Busche. Bringing a daughter into the world, which Hasidim was considering that shame. This is a shameful thing to bring a daughter to the world. Nicht einmal pflegt man a viele a chassidischen Mannchen aufschmeißen mit Gotland Farazazach, not not the once even the Hasidim would beat up with a guy with belts for bringing a daughter to the world. It's his fault. Versteht sich, kein Sude hat man bei uns in Stuhl nicht gemacht. Understandably, a feast was not made in our house for the birth of the child. Men hat bloß mechabet gewinnt die Balabatim mit Kiddush, was ist verstanden von Branfen und einer Kirchlach.
Eya.
So, what you were saying?
Eya Kirchlach.
Yeah, einer Kirchlach. That's okay, and einer Kirchlach. So they only treated the people Balabatim, these house owners, but yeah, but with a kiddush, that's like a little meal after a little meal, a kiddush. After the drinking a little alcohol, was is bestanden von Branfen und Eierkichlach. Okay, so this meal, this kiddush is what you eat after you bless the wine. So that little kiddush, little meal was made up of liquor and egg cookies. For a maidel is das euch gewinn genug. For a girl, that too was enough. Die Mama hat nicht gehabt genug Milch zu säugen, das Kind, und es pflegt darüber oft weinen. My mother very often didn't have enough milk to
nurse.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. To nurse the baby, and therefore the baby would often cry. Ich frage sich, aufheben Vater und zuwiegen das Kind in Wiegel, was ist gestanden bei der Mamas bed. I used to get up early in the morning and to
rock.
To shake. Is it to shake the
To rock the child.
Rock, yeah. I'm learning English from you, people are to rock the child in the every day. Yeah, to rock the child. The
in the cradle.
Child in that cradle that was standing by my mother's bed. Dabei habe ich gehabt volle Häufens mit Fliegen gleich von Kinds Pennimal. Therefore, I caught I don't know what that is.
Handfuls.
Handfuls of Fliegen.
Of flies.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So what I don't understand, how come the baby had flies?
No screens.
Yes, I didn't. That's why I know Fliegen is flies, but I did not understand how flies came to the baby. How did the baby produce flies? No. Okay.
The baby was not cleaned.
Okay. Somebody else.
Well, the baby was crying, And I think that the salt of I think that the salt of the tears, because you see a lot of times you see like children in, like documentaries from third world nations and stuff, and they have like all these flies around their eyes and stuff. So that's why I stopped crying, because I don't like flies.
Oh, okay, somebody else take over.
All right, I'll do it. Das
Okay.
Leben in unser Stub is geworden noch schwerer. Life in our house became even harder. Trotz dem often Weinen von Kind hat geherrscht die alte Langweiligkeit. Besides the frequent crying of the child, the old boredom was in control. Mit dem Mal ist die Langweiligkeit übergerissen geworden und ein Feuer von Machleukes hat aufgeflackert in Städtle. Suddenly, the boredom was ripped apart, and a fire of dispute was flaming in the town. Wie gewöhnlich in a jede Städtle ist das Feuer ausgebrochen zu lieb a göttlichen Indien. As it often happened in a Jewish town, the fire broke out because of a religious matter. Das Mal ist es gewesen zu lieb Reb Itzche Scheuchet und sein Schritte. At this point, it was because of Mr. Itzche, the ritual slaughterer, and his slaughter. Reb Itzche Scheuchet is gewesen an älterer Schener Jid, a Lamden, und a Baal Seichel. Reb Itzche Scheuchet, he was an older, fine fellow. He was well learned, and he was a Baal Seichel. He was wise. Wenn man es ist angestanden zu sein Scheichet in a größerer Stadt, whom they, from a bigger city, had asked that he become the Scheichet. I think that's what it means.
Yeah, I think who he strived to be so angestanden. He desired. He had the desire.
That could easily be, yeah.
Yeah, right. He had a desire to. Yeah.
I think it was. He was befitting. He had the knowledge and the learning to be a shochet in a bigger town.
That's right. Thank you.
Okay, good. Ist euch gewesen, mein Vater ist ein neuer Freund, und vielleicht oft kommen zu uns in Stub. He was also father's a close friend. He used to often come visit us at home, nicht nur weisen dem Chalef, nor euch zu Gas, not just to have his knife examined, but also as a guest. In Shabbosim und in Yantivim pflegt euch antan a Streimel auf den Kopf, zugleich mit mein Vater. On the holidays and Shabbos, he would also put a Streimel on his head, just like my father. Agav, pflegt euch Pasken in a Shaila, wenn mein Vater pflegt nicht sein in der Heim. And on the side, he used to also give rabbinic responses to questions if my father happened not to be at home. Pfleg euch oft kommen zu Ot dem Rabbi Itzche Scheuchet in Huis. I used to often also come to his house. Die meiste ist gewesen, was Rabbi Itzche Scheuchet ist a chutz Scheuchet in Moel und Moel gwen euch a gewaltiger Mumche in absprechen en Ores. The story was that Rabbi Itzche Scheuchet was, besides being a Scheuchet and a Moel, he was also an amazing expert in removing evil eyes. So removing absprechen, to make an incantation against the evil eye. Keiner hat nicht gekannt absprechen an Enora mit solche äußerliche Sprüchen und Psukim wie Rav Itzche. No one was able to ward off an evil eye with such unusual incantations and verses from the Bible as Rav Itzche. Die Weiber in Städtel pflegen sagen, als nimmt herab a Schlechteug wie mit der Hand. The women in the town used to say that he could take away an evil eye as if by waving his hand. Punkt wie is gewen a Berje, auf absprechen an Enora, a soll sein Weib, Sarah die Scheuchetke. Gewen a Berje, auf Upton an Enora. Just as he was an expert at getting rid of an Enora, an evil eye, well, just the same way his wife, Sarah, his wife, she was an expert at setting an evil eye. Casting an evil eye. Sie is given an ältere, zerknetschte Jiden. She was an older and wrinkled woman, mit a ponem bruin wie bei a Zigeunerin, with her head, with her face brown as a gypsy, mit koil schwarze beise Eglech, with coal black angry eyes, mit a kin von Wurzeln und Bärdlich, und mit a Moil, was hat tomid epis gebrumt, gemurmelt, with a chin, with Wurzeln and Bärdlich, hairs growing out, I guess, and with a mouth which was always humming and murmuring something. Eingehilt in a Schal, über ihr verfetzter, altplessener Kopke, covered with a scarf over her, this is, the word is fat, so it's smeared with fat, linen bonnet. Hat die Alte nicht aufgehört, reden sie sich allein. This old woman never stopped talking to herself. Sie ist euch gewähnt a Schilterke, a Wortchendicke. She was also a Schilterke, someone who would curse, I guess.
Yeah.
And Wortchen is to growl. She was a growler.
Wow.
So das ist gewähnt zu lieb ihr Äußern, zu lieb ihr ständig in Reden zu sich allein, weiß ich nicht. Whether this was because of how she looked or because she was always talking to herself, I'm not sure. Aber ich gedenk, als man hat die Jiden gehalten für a größer Einhornitze. But I do remember that people considered this woman to be a great caster of evil eyes. Weiblich pflegen antläufen mit sehre Kinder, wenn sie hat sich bewiesen. Women would run away along with their children when she appeared. Wenn da ein Kind ist krank geworden, hat man gleich gesagt, als das ist der Scheuchetkes Schlechteig. Whenever a child got sick, people would immediately say, that was the evil eye from the wife of the Scheichet. Zum Ersten pflegt man probieren, heilen das Kind damit, was man pflegt begneve zu chappen sich zu der Scheichetke, abreißen a Frenzel von ihrer ebigen Schal und verbrennen ihn auf brennendicke Keulen in an erdenem top. The first thing people would try is they would try to cure the child by secretly grabbing a frond, a thread from the eternal scarf of that the woman was wearing, and burning that in with burning coals in an earthenware vessel. Die Scheuchetke fliegt tomid herumgehen mit abgerissene Fransen in ihr Schal. And so this poor woman would be always going around with ripped off threads from her scarf. Sie fliegt treiben von sich die Weiber, was haben gelockert nach ihrer Frenzel. She used to drive away the women who were hovering about her to try to get one of these threads. As reißen soll man kriegen nach dir, Gott in you. This is a nice curse. People should be ripping kriya by God for you. That is, you should be dead, and your relatives should be ripping their clothing because of that. Hat sie gescholten, she used to cuss. An Einreißenisch soll kommen auf See. They ought to get an Einreißenisch, a stroke or something like that. And maybe that's all the time we